The feminine paradox. When she pulls away at the height of desire. When a woman pulls away just when she seems closest, the man is overcome with confusion and doubt. He asks himself, does she want me or reject me? This misconception is what makes the feminine paradox so powerful. The truth is that, at the height of desire, the woman defends herself. She feels intense emotional vulnerability and needs to protect herself from herself before surrendering. The withdrawal, therefore, is not a sign of disinterest. It is an instinct of self-protection. This dynamic creates a psychological trap for the inattentive man. He interprets the retreat as rejection, anxiety, or lack of attraction, and reacts with urgency, demanding attention, sending excessive messages, or seeking constant validation. Each needy gesture, each attempt to approach desperately, reveals weakness, anxiety, and emotional dependence. The woman, who naturally perceives energy, posture, and intention, detects these subtle flaws and quickly loses interest. The man who understands the paradox turns the withdrawal into an advantage. He recognizes that the retreat is a silent test, an instinctive mechanism that measures firmness, patience, and emotional stability. Instead of reacting, he observes, maintains presence, projects security, and allows the woman to approach when she feels ready. Every second of waiting is strategic, reinforcing psychological dominance and increasing desire. Moreover, the feminine paradox teaches a lesson about masculine energy. The power lies in maintaining posture and internal control. A man who reacts impulsively gives in to emotional chaos. A man who remains firm, patient, and strategic transforms confusion into fascination, tension into attraction, and testing into an opportunity for deep connection. Reflect. How many times have you misinterpreted signs of withdrawal and missed an opportunity by reacting with anxiety or neediness? How many times have you ignored the power of silence, patience, and firm posture? The man who learns to observe and understand the feminine paradox transforms confusion into strategy and desire into control. Before we move forward, write your age and city in the comments. This is more than a symbolic gesture. It is a commitment to discipline, awareness, and preparation to act with strategic masculine energy. Subscribing to the channel reinforces this silent pact, marking the beginning of mastery over the interaction. The man who understands the paradox knows that the battle is not in the words, but in the posture, energy, and control of his own emotional rhythm, and that patience is the silent sword that defines victory. Her fear is not of you, it is of herself. Her withdrawal does not mean rejection, but self-protection. When a woman feels that desire is too intense, she perceives her own emotional vulnerability. The feminine instinct activates silent defense mechanisms. She retreats, creates space, measures security. The fear that you interpret as disinterest is, in fact, fear of herself, fear of exposing herself, of surrendering, or of appearing weak in the face of her own intense feeling. Men who do not understand this dynamic act predictably. They demand, pressure, try to force closeness. Each impulsive reaction reveals weakness and anxiety, destroying attraction and respect even before the interaction advances. The woman feels the masculine energy. Calm, security, and firm posture transmit power. Urgency, neediness, and anxiety transmit fragility. The disciplined man perceives that each retreat is a test, an opportunity to consolidate psychological dominance and strengthen attraction. He does not chase, does not beg, and does not despair. He maintains presence, observes signs, and controls his internal rhythm. This balance creates confidence and silent fascination. The woman perceives that she can approach without losing security, and the man maintains authority without apparent effort. Furthermore, understanding the feminine instinct completely changes the way of acting. The man who recognizes that her fear is not about him projects strategic patience. He understands that lust, intense desire, and retreat are natural mechanisms that can be used as tools to generate respect and curiosity. He transforms each withdrawal into an opportunity to strengthen posture, energy, and internal dominance. Ask yourself, how many times have you reacted with anxiety in the face of retreat, losing control and respect? How many opportunities were wasted because you did not understand that her fear was internal, not about you? The man who masters this perception controls the situation, maintains unwavering energy, and creates growing desire, showing strength without needing to pursue or pressure. The second warning is clear. Her fear is not about you, but about herself. Understanding this allows you to act with patience, posture, and strategic energy, transforming withdrawals into an opportunity to dominate the invisible game and consolidate genuine attraction. When desire is too strong, pride shouts louder. Intense desire awakens something deep in the feminine instinct, fear of vulnerability and need for self-protection. The more she feels attraction, the louder her pride speaks, making her retreat. It is a silent paradox. What she desires most, she withdraws from the most, as if total surrender threatened her emotional stability. This behavior is not rejection, but defense. It is like a natural shield against the very intensity of the feeling. The man who does not understand this dynamic interprets the retreat as disinterest or rejection and reacts with anxiety, demands, or pressure. Each needy gesture, each insistent message, undermines authority and instantly reduces attraction. On the other hand, the disciplined man recognizes that the retreat is her natural strategy, a silent test that assesses emotional control, stability, and security. Masculine energy projected in a calm and strategic way creates magnetism, transforms tension into fascination, and generates growing interest. He understands that pursuing or rushing results only increases resistance and decreases attraction. Instead, he observes, maintains presence, and adjusts his internal rhythm, respecting her need for emotional security. Ask yourself, how many times have you misinterpreted signs of intense withdrawal, reacting with anxiety and pressure, only to see interest and respect diminish? How many opportunities were lost because you did not understand the paradox of pride and desire? The third warning is clear. The more intense the desire, the more strategic your silence and posture must be, as the woman measures strength, stability, and internal dominance while testing emotional limits. The man who masters this perception transforms withdrawal into an opportunity to generate curiosity, confidence, and growing desire. The invisible test, she pulls away to measure your strength. Each withdrawal, each hesitation or retreat is not random. The woman unconsciously tests the man's strength, stability, and emotional dominance. It is an invisible, silent test that occurs even before any word or physical gesture. The man who reacts with anxiety, demands, or immediate neediness shows fragility. The man who maintains presence, patience, and posture demonstrates unwavering strength. The invisible test works because feminine perception is extremely fast and intuitive. She does not need long explanations. She feels energy, posture, and security. A calm gesture, a balanced message, or the ability to remain firm without forcing approach transmits authority and reliability, reinforcing interest. Masculine anxiety, on the other hand, is perceived immediately, destroying attraction and reducing psychological dominance. The true man understands the test as a strategic opportunity. He does not try to control, does not beg, and does not seek approval. He projects consistent masculine energy, maintains rhythm and presence, allowing the woman to approach when she feels emotional security. Each retreat of hers becomes a tool for observation, and each reaction of the man strengthens his position in the invisible game. Ask yourself, how many times have you let yourself be carried away by anxiety, losing the opportunity to impress or maintain interest? How many interactions were harmed by a lack of emotional control? The man who understands the invisible test not only resists, but transforms the dynamic in his favor, creating fascination and attraction without needing to pressure. The fourth warning is clear. Withdrawal is a test, not rejection. Emotional dominance and strategic posture determine respect, fascination, and attraction, while anxiety and need for approval instantly reduce power and magnetism. The fatal mistake of weak men, reacting with anxiety. The biggest mistake a man can make when she pulls away is to react with anxiety, demanding, pressuring, sending excessive messages, or trying to force closeness immediately reveals insecurity and emotional dependence. Each impulsive gesture diminishes energy, reduces fascination, and surrenders psychological power. The anxious man, even without realizing it, becomes predictable, vulnerable, and easily interpreted as weak. Anxiety destroys everything that has been built so far. The man who reacts loses internal and external authority, while her withdrawal, which could be a strategic tool, becomes a reason for frustration. Each attempt to rush results only increases resistance, reinforces tests, and reduces attraction. The disciplined man, on the other hand, projects calm and presence. He understands that withdrawal is part of the invisible game, which measures emotional stability, control, and patience. Instead of pursuing, he observes, maintains posture, and projects consistent masculine energy. Silence is not a lack of interest, but a demonstration of dominance. He understands that the woman's desire only grows when she perceives security, patience, and absolute control. Ask yourself, how many times have you lost interest, respect, or control by reacting emotionally? How many opportunities were wasted by not maintaining silent dominance? The man who avoids anxiety transforms each test into an opportunity for fascination, curiosity, and lasting attraction. The fifth warning is clear. Reacting with anxiety destroys attraction, respect, and dominance. The man who maintains presence, patience, and psychological control transforms withdrawal into a strategic advantage, consolidating power and magnetism. The warrior's posture, quiet presence, not lack of control. The man's posture in the face of feminine withdrawal defines success or failure in the invisible game. The firm man does not pursue, does not beg, does not react impulsively. He maintains energy, presence, and emotional control, understanding that each withdrawal is a silent test. The quiet posture transmits strength, confidence, and stability, while the lack of control reveals fragility and anxiety, instantly destroying attraction. The true warrior knows that psychological control is more powerful than any apparent action. He projects masculine energy consistently, observes signs, maintains rhythm, and allows the woman to approach when she feels emotional security. He understands that patience is the invisible sword, and silence is the shield, which protect presence and authority, making her withdrawal an ally, not a threat. Each gesture, each word, and each decision of the strategic man reinforces respect, confidence, and fascination. He knows that masculine energy is not in pressuring, but in maintaining internal dominance, observing, and conducting interactions with emotional intelligence and firm posture. Withdrawal ceases to be an obstacle and becomes a tool to consolidate power and magnetism. Ask yourself, how many times have you lost dominance or respect by giving in to emotional impulse? How many times have you reacted and destroyed fascination before realizing the true dynamic? The disciplined man understands that dominance, presence, and silent posture generate attraction and respect effortlessly. The sixth warning is clear. Quiet posture and internal control transform withdrawal into a strategic opportunity, while lack of control and anxiety compromise authority and magnetism from the first test. Her fear of appearing easy or predictable. When a woman retreats at the height of desire, it is often fear of appearing easy, vulnerable, or predictable. She feels too much intensity, too much passion, and instinctively pulls away to protect her own perception and emotional control. This behavior is not rejection, but a mechanism of self-preservation. The man who misinterprets this retreat ends up reacting impulsively, demanding, insisting, or demonstrating anxiety, destroying his own magnetism. The disciplined man perceives that each retreat is a silent and natural test of the feminine instinct. He understands that the woman evaluates posture, consistency, and internal dominance before approaching again. Each misstep, each impulsive gesture, or need for validation surrenders power and weakens presence. Instead, the strategic man maintains firm energy, observes, adjusts rhythm, and creates expectation. Her withdrawal becomes an ally, a field to strengthen silent authority. Furthermore, understanding this pattern allows the man to project calm and security. He does not chase, does not beg for attention, does not react emotionally. He knows that her desire exists, but that the approach must occur in her own time, when confidence and masculine energy are evident. Patience becomes a weapon, posture becomes a shield, and silence is a tool to generate fascination and genuine interest. Ask yourself, how many times have you misinterpreted signs of retreat, reacting with anxiety, and losing the opportunity to create attraction? How many times has a lack of understanding about fear and feminine instinct undermined dominance and respect? The man who understands the pattern transforms withdrawal into an advantage, consolidating desire and authority. The seventh warning is clear. The more intense the desire, the greater the need for internal control of the woman, and the strategic patience of the man becomes the key to creating confidence, fascination, and attraction effortlessly. The secret of patience and rhythm. Patience and controlled rhythm are the silent weapons of the strategic man. She tests, retreats, and observes. He remains firm, serene, and consistent. The ability to balance presence and distance without giving in to anxiety transforms withdrawal into an opportunity to generate desire, confidence, and respect. An impatient man loses dominance, wastes energy, and diminishes magnetism. A patient man uses rhythm in his favor, conducting the game without apparent effort. The secret lies in constancy and emotional control. Each measured response, each pondered gesture, and each calculated interval reinforce psychological authority and increase fascination. The woman perceives, even unconsciously, that he does not let himself be led by impulse, and his masculine energy becomes irresistible. The right rhythm creates positive tension, expectation, and genuine attraction. Furthermore, strategic patience protects against fatal mistakes, anxiety, demands, and attempts at manipulation. The wise man projects consistent energy, maintains firm posture, and conducts the interaction in a way that she feels safe but desirous. Her withdrawal becomes a tool, silence becomes a sword, and each gesture of his strengthens dominance and fascination. Ask yourself, how many times has impatience destroyed opportunities for connection and interest? How many times has anxiety eliminated attraction before it even started? The man who understands the power of rhythm transforms waiting into strategy, tension into desire, and silence into magnetism. The eighth warning is clear. Patience and strategic rhythm are essential to consolidate presence, generate confidence, and maintain psychological control, ensuring that feminine withdrawal is not an obstacle, but an ally in the invisible game of attraction. The difference between the emotional man and the unwavering man. The difference between an emotional man and an unwavering man is clear from the first feminine withdrawal. The emotional one reacts. He despairs, demands attention, sends excessive messages, and demonstrates anxiety. The unwavering one observes. He maintains constant energy, projects firm posture, and acts strategically. The emotional one surrenders power. The unwavering one maintains absolute control of his own emotional and psychological territory. The unwavering man understands that each retreat is a silent test. He does not need to pursue or beg. His presence, posture, and energy speak louder than any word. He knows that attraction is not conquered by anxiety or effort, but by constancy, internal dominance, and control of the rhythm of the interaction. The woman feels the difference. The emotional one is predictable and vulnerable. The unwavering one is magnetism and stability that generate desire and respect. Furthermore, the unwavering man transforms withdrawals into opportunities for fascination. Each test, each retreat, each silence of hers becomes a field to consolidate silent authority and generate confidence. He does not react impulsively. He acts with strategic patience, building magnetism and genuine interest without needing to manipulate or pressure. Ask yourself, how many times have you lost interest or respect by reacting emotionally? How many opportunities were wasted by not maintaining firm posture and constant energy? The man who masters his emotional and psychological state becomes irresistible, and each interaction becomes a chance to strengthen presence and authority. The ninth warning is clear. The unwavering man projects magnetism, control, and authority effortlessly, while the emotional one loses power instantly, even in the face of the most intense feminine desire. When you understand the game, you stop losing women. The last lesson is simple, but devastating. Understanding the invisible game of feminine attraction transforms confusion into strategy and desire into control. The man who masters his mind, posture, and energy projects presence without needing to pursue or pressure, conquering respect, fascination, and genuine interest. He does not waste time trying to please. He imposes silent authority and maintains internal dominance. Leave the word calm in the comments. This gesture is not just symbolic. It is a silent oath, a commitment to discipline, energy, and psychological dominance. Each conscious choice strengthens the internal fortress. Each resistance to impulse strengthens posture, magnetism, and control. Subscribing to the channel is not a mere click. It is a seal of commitment. Each video, each alert, and each technique presented are training. The battle continues even when the screen goes dark. The invisible enemy acts, but the disciplined man remains firm, patient, and strategic. He observes, projects presence, and knows that patience is a sword and silence is a shield. Final reflection. In Sparta, the warrior won because he knew how to wait for the right moment to attack. The same applies here. The man who masters silence conquers even the most confused heart. Understanding, applying, and maintaining posture transforms you from observer to conqueror.